Everybody, welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. So today I'm going to start out with my bag of words and see what I'm inspired to share. Okay, well, let's see. 4 words came out. All right, we're going to go with that. How about that? Let's see. Remorse and dream. Okay. Let's see. Restlessness. Okay. And last but not least, hold on, restlessness flipped over on me. Let's see. Happiness. Okay. So, let's see. Dream. Dream makes me think about our dreams for ourselves. And sometimes we're conscious of them early on, and sometimes we're not. In other words, some of us know early on what we want to do, and we're kind of in the ballpark, or we're hitting the mark. And other of us do not know, including me. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got older, and my dreams were kind of vague, but nonetheless, over time, right, my dreams started to become more and more clear. And we could be at different places at different times in our lives in relation to our dreams and what is it that we want for ourselves. And that's okay. Like, there's really no right or wrong. But when we feel the nudge, right, when we start to notice, I was going to say, like, when we feel this calling, but when we also start to notice it, we start to realize, like, and paying attention to, like, I really like this more, but find ourselves going here more because it's safe, it's familiar, and sometimes it even makes sense, logistical sense. So, we find ourselves going back here. Just, it's important to notice that, right? And then spend some time with it. When I say spend some time, take time to pause and journal about it, or think about, right, just how you're doing something, right? Like observing it so that it becomes clear to you, right? What the pattern is that you have going on, right? Because we all have a pattern. In other words, some of us will feel something and pursue it, notice something about ourselves and, work on changing it. And sometimes we're not ready to do that. This is no right or wrong. This is all about just becoming more aware of where you're being pulled, like where you find yourself feeling more energetic and feeling more inspired versus, where you don't, because this information is yours to use when you feel ready to use it. And sometimes, right, when we ignore it and we're not really giving it the attention that it needs, we're not taking out the time to understand it better, right, or get to know our dreams better. When I say understand it better, I'm referring to our patterns, and get to understand, right, or connect more with what is it that we're dreaming of and that we're desiring or finding ourselves gravitating towards. When we don't do that, we're going to find ourselves feeling restless and kind of spinning. We sometimes think it's because, I have a lot going on. Yeah, having a lot going on can definitely have, overwhelm us and have us spinning sometime. But a lot of times the restlessness, it's a sign of restlessness because there's a part of us that we're ignoring, and our psyche is feeling uncomfortable. There's a part of us, right, that's like knocking on the door, and when we ignore it for too long, there is going to be this sense of restlessness. And if we ignore it for an extensively long time, and literally extensively long period of time, we may eventually find ourselves feeling remorseful, right? Remorseful that we didn't pause to figure this out, right? To give it some attention, to get to know ourselves, parts of ourselves. When I say to get to know ourselves, just those parts of ourselves that are dreaming of something, that desires something, and not leaving it out in the cold or abandoned any longer, paying attention to it. But when we don't do that for an extensively long period of time, yes, eventually we may get to that point where we're going to feel some remorse. The opposite is also true, that when we do invest our time and slow ourselves down and decrease the distractions so that we're not spinning as much, right? We're able to gain awareness, and with that awareness, make some conscious decisions. In other words, we're going to think on purpose as opposed to just functioning on automatic pilot. And when we do that, then we're going to bring ourselves right towards happiness. We're going to find ourselves feeling a sense of happiness because we're not just ignoring a part of ourselves, we're addressing a part of ourselves, and then we're addressing what it is that we need, not just addressing it like understanding it, but now we're going to address our needs. And this doesn't have to be done overnight, right? This can be done over a certain period of time, but we're building ourselves up for something so that we can break a pattern and not stay in the same old familiar stuff because it feels safe to us, but yet it ignores another aspect of us. So when we, take the time, yes, we're going to create more happiness for ourselves, and we're going to create shifts and changes in our lives, but they're going to be conscious changes that are going to make us feel more in alignment because we're addressing that dream, right? That desire within, and we're no longer ignoring it. So before I go any further, or I wrap up, I shuffled my deck, the Untethered Soul, and this is the card on the top, so I'm going to read this. Okay, let's see. It says, what if consciousness were to remove its focus? Sorry, I'm wearing my contacts, and I'm like, and I need to pull it a little further back. So let me start from the beginning. It says, what if consciousness were to remove its focus from your personal set of thoughts, your personal set of emotions, and your limited sensory input? Would you become untethered from the bonds of the personal self and be set free to explore beyond? Oh, I love that. Okay. And the answer is yes. When we take the time to remove ourselves from the sensory input, whether it's through a meditative walk, listening to some music, even when I find myself sometimes, even when I'm doing things around the house, like if I'm cleaning up the kitchen and it's quiet, I'm, just even in that moment, I'm able to sometimes, get insights. Like I'll have a thought that, gives me information that's, helpful to me. But when I sit down and I meditate, right, or if I take a walk in nature, any of those things or anything else that works for you, right, tends to give us the opportunity to reduce the distractions so that we are able to focus ourselves. And when we do that and we create and we shift our feelings from this tense, from this tension that we feel when we're functioning on automatic pilot, and we soften, right, our emotions a bit, and we start to bring some calmness into the scene, it's like a whole different awareness opens up, right? Because now we're able to even hear our intuition. We're able to hear that small, still voice within us and gain awareness, but also courage, and become aware of what it is that we really are desiring or we really are wanting. And yes, it gives us the courage to pursue the things that we're dreaming. Even if we can't change things overnight, we know that we can start walking in that direction, creating small shifts that are going to eventually bring us right to where it is that we want to be over time. So yes, there's a lot of power when we remove ourselves right from all our sensory distractions, and how we show up to life is completely different. And of course, the more we do this, meaning that if we do it on a consistent basis, on a daily basis, then we're gonna find ourselves arriving there that much. I'm going to say quicker, but not that we're in a race, but, as opposed to, let's say, it taking us 6 months, we can gain this more, awareness in 2 months, let's say, so it's kind of like that, but we pace ourselves and we eventually get to where we want to get. And like I said, this is not about it being a race or beating ourselves up if we don't do it right on a daily basis, but we want to be conscious that this is something that we want to do so that we can start creating start bringing more conscious attention to what it is that we want, because eventually, right, we're going to shift from less dips and more highs in our actions and more consistency. So I'm going to end with that. I hope that this video helps you in some way. If it did, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any comments, please post them down below. Thank you and have a beautiful day. Bye for now.